lung. The black lung show, the black lung. The black lung show, the black lung. The black lung show, and starting fucking now.
That's right, you're listening to the Black Lung Show on the world-famous kaoticradio.com. I'm your host, Ryan Pena. Thanks for joining us on this fine Sunday afternoon. It seems like it's finally feeling a little bit like winter here in Southern California. If you don't live in Southern California, I'm really sorry. Although, that probably means your house didn't burn down. So, with that weird introduction segue, first let me say hi to my partner in crime, my main man, B. Hey, B, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, Ryan. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. You were asking me earlier about the show, and so a couple of things, couple of disclaimers for everybody listening right now. Again, for everyone listening, man, I just realized, B, that next month is going to be 3.5 years that I've been doing this on Kaotic Radio.
That's fucking awesome, man.
It's not bad, right? I was thinking I need to make a list because I always forget. Like, I've had so many bands on the show, and, the other night I was talking to a friend, and, the weirdos were here in studio, and I was like, wow, it's not that I didn't forget about it, it's just there's so many, the Dayglow Abortions, the Brees were here in studio, guys from the Voodoo Close Skulls. We just had a lot of great guests, and that's not taking anything away from any of the local bands that I've had on here. Some of them are up and coming. In fact, I know we had our friends The Last Gang in here probably year 1 or 2, and recently they got signed to Fat Mike's label. What am I? Just brain farted. What's Fat Mike's record label? B.
Looking up for you right now.
The singer from No Effects. I can't believe it. I can't believe I forgot his record label. Anyway, man, that's gonna bother the hell out of me.
Fat Records.
Jesus, man.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it, dude. Fat Mike, and I couldn't remember Fat Records. Good God. I just brain farted really hard. Anyway, well, this is gonna be a great show today.
It's gonna be an awesome show,
Yeah.
Ryan.
So our friends, The Last Gang, got signed to Fat Records, after, and I'm not going to say it's due to the show, but maybe that might have helped a little bit. They've been on tour with No Effects, playing some of these big festivals. They've been playing a lot with the other Fat Record bands. So that happened. Some bands that have been on here are broken up. I mean, that's kind of what bands do. Anyway, where was I going with all this shit? If you guys are watching the YouTube thing, the camera's off. And I'm going to just give you a quick disclaimer, like I said. If you listen to the show, and again, I thank you for that. And I mention my kids on air every once in a while. My wife and I are foster parents, like I've mentioned before. And over the years, we've had lots of different kids in and out of the house. I mean, this weekend, I think I had 4 in the house, 5 maybe, and then our son. It's kind of what we do. We dig it, but I don't post any pictures or videos or stuff like that because of laws. It's a safety and a privacy thing, So anyway, one of my kids is here in studio. Why don't you say hi on the mic? Don't worry, I can't see you.
Hello?
You having fun?
Yeah.
All right. So this is one of my kids here. Again, can't show you any pictures, but I'm not making this stuff up. It's real. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
All right. You excited to be in here?
Yes, of course.
This is your first time on the radio?
Yep.
You nervous?
Yep.
At least you're being honest. So, how have you liked living with us? I'm going to put you on I'm going to do the Ryan radio show right now. It's you instead of it the Black Lung show. It's me, Ryan. How have you been? You've been with us for a few months now, right?
Yeah.
You having fun?
It's very different.
How so?
Because what I'm used to is people usually telling me what to do or giving me orders. Not that you guys don't. You do it here and there, but not a lot. Your home is it's different from all the homes I've actually been in.
Is that because of all the skulls and punk rock flyers on the walls?
That too.
Okay.
But you guys are just really cool people, and I enjoy that about you all.
Oh, well, thank you. All right, don't make me cry on my own radio show now. Anyway, so I was trying to think of a theme because, like I said, I was telling Beon, I can't have some of these crazy bands here. That's not good parenting. Um, Here in the studio with one of my kids here. But my kid just get to experience this, the radio show for the first time, like live here in studio. And so what I do is usually I interview bands. 90% of the time I interview bands, help promote their albums, their music, their websites, anything they got going on. I'm going to do that a little bit today, but today I just figured we just talk about Thanksgiving. B, how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was hectic, very hectic.
Hectic. What you've been traveling a lot too, man. Where were you at now?
I stayed in town this Thanksgiving. I thought my dad was going to be out of town, and since he decided to tell me last minute he's going to be in town, so I'd do Thanksgiving at his house, and I had other people invite me to their Thanksgiving. So I was at 4 different Thanksgivings that day.
Wow.
Yeah,
In one day?
One day. It was a lot of driving. A lot of driving.
And you weren't you weren't all sleepy driving from all the tryptophan?
I'm not a quitter.
All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
It was cool, though. I got to see a couple of friends' families. We ended the night with my homegirl's family, her and her dad. I walked in with a bottle of tequila and whiskey, and we just sat there and drank it all and had conversations all night long. It was wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was the best way to end Thanksgiving. We had pie, tequila, and whiskey for a lot of laughs.
All right. Not till you're 21, by the way. Don't even ask.
Wasn't gonna.
All right. Just making sure here. So, B, I was thinking too, and so, as you were asking me about the theme for today's show, and I was trying to think of, what to play and, what to talk about, especially with one of my kids here, because for the first time, and you came down to the show, we did a benefit show for NAMI. Again, and that was with our record label, First Off Records. Thanks to all the bands that played, the Less Offs, the Rundown Creeps and Southpaw, and then my band, Something Ferocious. My wife, she helped me set the thing up, along with Lauren from First Off Records. And we did manage to raise, a little bit over $500 for NAMI, so it was a good event. That was at Brewery Rebellion in San Bernardino, and it was all ages, so the kids actually got to come out. What'd you think of seeing me play live? Is it weird?
It's a very different side of you.
Why do you say that?
Because you're all like punk rock, you know?
And I'm not punk rock during the day?
You are. You're like you're more nerdy.
I'm more nerdy?
Yes.
Okay.
Please tell us more.
See, I'm opening up. See, it's just, you go ahead.
You're like a very, you're a pretty open guy.
Mm-hmm.
You do like to be very like hype.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
So what do you think of the rest of the guys in the band? Pretty nice guys?
I mean, I talked to some, well, actually I didn't really talk to them, but they seemed pretty cool as well.
Did you have a good time?
I had a really good time.
Did you watch any other bands?
No, just yours.
Oh, okay. Well, you were helping too with Nadine running the booth, right?
Yeah.
And selling tickets and stuff. So thank you for that too. The kids helped out too. And that's a cool thing. So about, again, today's show, and then thinking about what to talk about with my kid, who's in a radio station for the first time. I was thinking I'll talk about music and like kind of like what it means to me. And growing up, my wife and I didn't have like the easiest of lifestyles. And that's kind of what helped us decide that we were going to foster other kids, and especially teenagers too, because if you hear people, and people always get adoption and fostering mixed up. Adoption's when you get a kid and you keep them for the rest of their life. Fostering is we're here to help find them give them a stable home until things get better, and hopefully they can be reunited with their families. If that's the case, if not, some of them stayed with us till they're 21, and then they go out and get apartments and do their own thing. But for me, music was always the escape. It's always where I got to go somewhere else and feel better about what was going on. I'd listen to certain things. In fact, damn, I should have told you this other song, B. But we'll play something. We'll play. I'll figure it out in one of the breaks. I don't listen to only punk rock. And for you guys listening to the station too, there's going to be some really cool changes probably coming in within the next week. And I'm not going to talk about it too much. But if you could tune into Kaotic Radio, it's going to be all punk. And I'm going to be picking some of the music. Going to be streaming in between the shows, in between Dutchie and my show. Picking some of my favorite bands. But I went through and started picking some of the music, and music that means something to me. And it's weird, and I think I'm going to start off with this one. And this is going to probably make most people trip out, maybe even you. A song that I listen to religiously now. It just puts me in a good mood, and it's got some of the best lyrics, and I love it because I mean it's universal, and you guys are all probably going to trip out when you hear it, because it's not a punk rock song. I think you know which one I'm talking about, B. All right, you guys are listening to the Black Lung Show. Happy Thanksgiving.
Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will pray. One day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose. We all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the water stay raging. In this maze, you can lose your way. In my job, you crazy, but don't let it face you, no way. No way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more, and our children will pray. One day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play.
And we're back. That was Mars Yahoo. Yahoo. Did I say that right? B? You did. All right. What do you think of that song?
I really liked it.
Have you heard that before?
No, honestly.
No, really? Could you hear the lyrics?
Yeah, I heard the lyrics.
It's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because, well, nowadays things are a little tough right now because of, I personally think because of someone who sits in power, our president. The country's a little bit divided. A little bit, that's an understatement, right? But even the punk scene seems to be like going like that a lot. But the main thing that I've always liked about most punks, most, by the way, I'm not talking about skinheads or boneheads or any, not all skinheads, boneheads. I'll go with boneheads. But most punks that I've met are usually about the same thing, Might be angry, say it the wrong way, but peace and love, kind of like hippies, but with just cooler, louder music. That makes sense. I'm rambling on. Anyway, so I thought since Thanksgiving just happened, this will be the Thanksgiving episode. And with that being said, too, a couple things happened to me during Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving. I think the day before Thanksgiving, I was eating Chinese food, man, and they started playing fucking Christmas music. And I'm like, you know what, man? It's not even Thanksgiving yet. Nothing pisses me off more than, seeing Christmas trees, shit, even in stores and, and around Halloween time, Let it be Halloween. Let it be Thanksgiving before you start playing all this crappy-ass music. So I figured out that this year on the Black Lung Show, there's not going to be a Christmas episode. I'm not finding punk rock songs playing Christmas. I'm going to play Halloween songs again. What do you guys think about that?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna do a second Halloween show. Fuck Christmas. Sorry, kid. Don't worry, you'll get presents and everything. We're gonna get a tree and shit. But I'm just sick I'm sick of Christmas music. With that being said, nice segue. Thanksgiving, being thankful. I'm thankful for a lot. Let me start with the first one. I'm really thankful to be. I'm going to pull back the curtains here like the Wizard of Oz a little bit. The transition was a little tough, moving Kaotic Radio from our studios in Rancho Cucamonga to we are now in Montclair. We've had issues with phone lines. We've had issues with we've just had a bunch of issues, right? And we've also had issues with other shows, other hosts, people leaving, people bad-mouthing people on the internet, which I'm going to get to. That's going to be another fun subject. Social media. I've got such a big love-hate relationship with that. But anyway, my whole point was I'm thankful and grateful to be. I got this killer new record player that I'm just dying to use for today's show. I appreciate that, and I appreciate him keeping this place together. As I was talking to another host that was on the station here, I was explaining if it wasn't for B, we wouldn't even have this place. There's going to be some hiccups, and this place is a lot cooler, right? What do you think? It's a cool studio, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool studio.
There you go. See, I'm telling you, people, even the kids like this place. There's a lot of internet radio stations. Anybody can get a laptop and a microphone and do something in their house, but it takes a long time to run a full website. And we've got a nice studio. We've got all these microphones. We get to interview bands. It's great. So first and foremost, I'm grateful to be for keeping Kaotic Radio alive and letting me rant and rave here every Sunday with my crazy opinions. I want to thank Ginger, good friend of mine, manager of the Fok Wolves. She did up a brand new logo for me. Kind of adjusted my old logo. It's still the Black Lung Show one, but we have long chats on the phone about bookings, where we should have our bands play, all that stuff. We talk about music, and we have a good time. We joke around, and I forgot what somebody I was talking to about. I don't know, maybe I had a couple of beers and said, what the fuck is wrong with you? I know what I'm talking about. And she loved that, and so she made it on the flyer. So if you look at my Facebook page, you'll see that. That's what it means. Basically, I really knew what I'm talking about. I have the best taste in music of anyone I know, and you can't argue with that. I've got a really cool show. I've got a lot of people always say, too, they got the best radio show on the internet. Here to tell you, you don't. I'm kidding. You can think whatever you want. I know the truth. B knows what's up.
They don't.
So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for I haven't said this before on air, I don't think. I'm actually really thankful for my job. You know, I've got the best boss in the world, and I've had a lot of different jobs since I graduated high school. But I manage a pest control company. You know, I'm always talking about music and the band, the record label, but I work for a really good company, and in fact, my boss is the reason I even have this show. I was paying for it myself, and then he sponsored the radio station, and so you can hear in the commercials Craig and Sons out of Redlands. So if you guys are in the Inland Empire and something's bugging you, call me. I'll kill that shit. And seriously, but you know, we my boss is a very kind and giving guy. Going to the foster kid thing, I got called to a house B where there was a foster parent there and little Indonesian old lady, and she had some little kids, real nice, but she was like a grandma. I mean, she was old, and she didn't have any money because they were living on a fixed income, and somehow they got some roaches in their house, and they were going to take the kids out. They were going to say that it wasn't a safe place to live, and my boss actually allowed me to treat the place for free, just to help them out. And that's the kind of company that I work for. A lot of charity stuff, so and sponsoring the show, and also allowing me to take the kids this Saturday. We're going to be at the Citizens Bank Arena. We're going to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Here I am talking all this shit about Christmas music, and that's what we're going to go watch, right? How rad is that? Anyway, I'm thankful for my wife for, one, putting up with me. I've met me. I know I'm an asshole. Or I can be. Thank you. And this is my kid nodding. Yeah. She's absolutely right. I'm thankful for her for all the hard work she does with the kids and stuff. Like I said, if you know me, I talk about it, and it's really basically a lot of it is to kind of honor my wife. I have been spending more time with the kids, and that's the other cool thing about my job is that I work so much that I've actually been able to take some time off spending with them. But she's the majority of everything that we do. That's my wife. She's the one that takes them all to their appointments. Does therapy sessions, all that stuff. She's all about it. So she's a warrior. So I'm grateful to her. I love my kids. I love my family. I really love my fucking dog. I don't know if maybe I should post some pictures of my dog on social media. My dog is my best friend. Spoiled, rotten pit bull. Anyway, that's what I'm thankful for, and I'm also thankful for. And it's going to sound kind of bad, but living here in Southern California, I'm thankful I still have a house. I'm just, you know what I mean. Think about that when you're complaining on social media. Here's that transition I was going to get to. A lot of you guys are posting up your problems on social media. Don't do that. First off, no one cares, and no one wants to see that shit. If you need help, go see a therapist. Don't post your problems online because I'm gonna either block you or delete you because I don't want to see that shit. If you need help, then reach out and ask somebody, but don't just put something up there because you want a pity party. I got to keep it positive. I'm gonna start going off in a big crazy rant. My kid's sitting here looking at me. B, what about you, brother? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that I have people to believe in me to make this thing work, and that we're making it work, and we're about to do some really, really big things in 2019. And that we're going to keep Kaotic being the place that plays only place that plays punk rock in the world, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm thankful for people who just been supporting me through these past couple of months to help make this thing happen. For Hef, Connor, my silent partner Jeremy, this has been a crazy adventure, and things are about to get really awesome. So can't wait.
I can't wait to mention them too. I mean, I know what you're talking about, and for the listening audience, man, I'm telling you, this place is going to get a lot different, and it's going to be really, really cool. This is going to be your home for punk rock, and not only punk rock, but other stuff associated with that. A lot of rock and roll, a lot of good rock and roll. What about you kiddo? You want to say what you're thankful for?
Of course.
Go ahead.
I'm very thankful for my sister. Very much so. She's the light of my life. And I'm very thankful for the home I live in and the people who take care of me. Very thankful for all they've done for me so far.
Okay.
And
if I see him, I'll tell him that.
All right. let them know that I do love them, and I'm really, really thankful for them.
Cool. Well, with that, I want to tell you something else too that I haven't told you before. Sometimes I'm talking to you on live on the internet for everybody to listen to. But my point was back to when I was a kid, right? I went through some times when what's the best way to say it? I didn't want to be alive anymore. I was depressed. Got bullied. Family issues, just bad stuff. And sometimes I'd be so frustrated, I'd just go in my room and just be so angry, just be crying. You ever cried when you're angry? Like that's like the worst. You're so angry that you actually cry. It's the opposite from being sad. Like you're so angry that you're crying. You're so pissed off, and that's kind of like how rock and roll and punk rock kind of came into my life. So here's a song that I used to listen to, and I would put it on, especially when I was in that kind of mood, and I'd be jumping around my room and grabbing a baseball bat and playing it like a guitar. I got caught, by the way, a bunch of times by parents and friends doing that. I think the last time I was in my 20s. Yeah, I'm still kind of a nerd. Anyway, how about this? For all you people that need something, that are complaining all the time. First off, if your house didn't burn down, stop bitching. Count your blessings. Second of all, if you're feeling down, listen to some fucking Suicidal Tendencies, people. You know what I mean? Don't let anything bring you down. You're listening to The Black Lung Show live on kaoticradio.com. You Can't Bring Me Down, Suicidal Tendencies, old school 80s jams for you right there, man. That's a song that got me through a lot of bad times, and that's another. If I had a theme song, that might actually be my theme song. You know, that's my motivational song.
That's a damn good theme song, man.
Not bad, right? You know what I mean? Maybe you should listen to that too every once in a while too. If you're getting pissed off with some of these people here, you're like, all right, it's kind of like my motivation. You know, with when someone tells me my band's not going to make it over the years, I'm not saying this has happened. You know, I use it as motivation as opposed to like pissing me off or letting someone bring me down. Like, oh, your band sucks. Well, no, I think my band's pretty cool, and I'm going to do it on my radio show or whatever the fuck I'm doing. You know. And by the way, I do sing in a punk rock band, so trust me, my kids heard these bad words before. I'm a good parent, God damn it. Anyway, so I wanted you to hear that song too, because like that's what I was saying is like there's certain songs that you can listen to that'll help put you in a better mood. It's a lot better than doing something destructive or harmful to yourself. You know what I mean? Listening something that can inspire you or bring you up. So here's something else. Because we're only gonna do the show for about another 30 minutes because like you, B, especially now that I've got such a big family, we've got to do Thanksgiving at all these different places. We've already done a couple of Thanksgivings, and we're gonna go do another one with my wife's friends and coworkers right after the show. So we're gonna be doing the show just up until about 5 o'clock next week. I'll be back in studio, and we'll do the full 2 hours, 4 to 6. I'm not sure who the guests are going to be. It's either going to be one of the last bands from my record label, First Off Records, along with my partner, Lorne, get him back in here. Maybe it'll be the Rundown Creeps. I want to do a tribute show to my friend who passed away from the band Arkansas Toothpick. Maybe I might have some of those guests. So I'm not sure, but I promise you next week's show is going to be a really good show. With that being said...
Every show's a good show, Ryan.
Thanks. Thank you. Well, here's something cool. The next song that I picked, and I got to spin some records before we get out of here, but the next song I picked was one because here's a life lesson, too. And listen to Uncle Ryan, everybody out there, right? Anybody with a broken heart. So, before I've known my wife since I was like 19 years old, but we recently... I can't say recently. This February is going to be our 10-year wedding anniversary, and we were together for 2 years before that. So that's the last 12 years I've been with my wife. Before I hooked up with her, like about a year or two before that, I went through a really, really crazy, psychotic Sid and Nancy style punk rock relationship, I'm talking cops. I'm talking a lot of bad stuff, man. Very unhealthy relationship. Wasn't really. It was horrible. I'll just put it that way. Too much stuff I don't want to mention on air. But I will say that we were together 5 years, um, and I was raising her daughter as well as my own. Um, and then we broke up, and she started seeing my next door neighbor. So I had to see that every single day when I get home. And the depression I went through was absolutely horrific. And I thought I wasn't gonna ever find anybody again, and that was the love of my life. Blah blah blah. You know how the story ends, right? Way better, way better. You just got to hang in there. And so the song that I listened to at that point, right? Because depression's a terrible thing. I mean, I can deal with pain like tattoos and stuff like that. That's different. But when your heart hurts, man, it feels like someone just kicked you right in your stomach and you can't breathe, and it's like and it doesn't go away. So what I did is I went and hung out with my friends in my band to take my mind off it. Because if you have friends, and real ones, they can help you through that stuff. So if you're heartbroken, you think you're not going to find love, just wait and listen to your friends, because your friends aren't going to let you fall back down. You're listening to the Black Lung Show live on kaoticradio.com.
What song is this?
Fall back down.
Oh, I thought you were playing the record. My bad.
It's all right. Well, this is Rancid.
That one's on me, guys. Sorry.
It's all good.
Don't worry about me, I'm gonna make it alright. Got my enemies crossed nailed in my side. I take a fear situation, gonna make it right. In the shadow of the darkness, I stand in the light. See, it's our style to keep it true. I had a bad year, I've gone through. I've been knocked out, beat down, black and blue. She's not the one coming back for you. She's not the one coming back for you. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. Hey, take this extra to learn a lesson. You're gonna make it through the darkest night. Some people betray more than cause treason. Wanna make everything alright. Woo! Times they don't faze me. Even if I look and act really crazy, I won't wait till she betrayed me. Now my vision is no longer hazy. I'm very lucky to have my crew. They stood by me when she flew. I've been knocked down, beat down, black and blue. She's not the one coming back for you. She's not the one coming back for you. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back over again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, if I fall back down, if I fall back down. If I fall back down,
That was Fall Back Down by Rancid, one of my favorite bands of all time. You know what, B? I was just thinking, too, and I was listening to that song. I had a memory that just I hadn't thought about in a long time. So I'm not sure if Tim Armstrong, who's the singer in the band, because I'm pretty sure the timing's about right. I think he wrote that about his ex, right, and having to fall back on his brothers, in the band and stuff. And who it was Brody from a band called the Distillers, and she ended up hooking up with one of the guys from Queens of the Stone Age. That's a story. But what's weird, B, is that I was just remembering, man. So 17 years ago, man, it's been a long time. 2001, I was in a band called The Hostages, and we were playing the Vans Warped Tour in Ventura. And we were playing there with Fear, and I think Pennywise was on the bill, and Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Rancid was on the bill, the Bouncing Souls. Anyway, me and the guys in my band are walking backstage. The bass player at the time, his name was Jeff. We used to call him Hefe. He was a huge Rancid fan, and I told him when we had started the band, I was like, one day we're going to get to play with Rancid. And so sure enough, we were. And we're walking backstage to try to find him. And there is Tim Armstrong standing next to Matt Freeman. That's a bass player. And so I'm walking up to him, and I've got one of my hostages T-shirts and one of my CDs in my hand because I was looking for it to give it to him. And Jeff was Jeff was older than I am by a couple of years. And he nerded out, dude, and he was just like, oh my God. He went, like, I was trying to introduce him, right? And I noticed he wasn't standing next to me anymore. And so I was like, hey, what's up, Tim? I'm Ryan from the Hostages. And he's like, hey, what's up, Ryan? He has that raspy voice, right? And I was looking back behind me, and Jeff wasn't standing next to me, and I let it look back, and, Jeff's like 15 feet away. And I'm like, Hefe, come here. And Tim Armstrong's looking over at him. He's like, hey, Hefe, come over here. So we're meeting him, right? And sitting right next to him is Brody from the Distillers. And so I'm handing him my CDs, and I'm handing him my T-shirts, and he's giving me free stickers. He's like, this is my wife's band. Like, he was promoting his wife. So, I mean, it's a funny story, but also kind of sad, too, because, like, he was literally, he signed her to his own record label, Time Bomb, or Hellcat. What am I talking about? Hellcat Records. I've been just getting all these record labels confused today. So yeah, that's when I got to meet Rancid. And I'll tell you something else too. Years later, someone was listening to a Rancid album. I forget which one because I got a bunch. And I'm pretty. My friend was like, "Dude, they stole one of your songs," and I was so fucking proud. I was like, "Hell yeah, dude, that's right. Rancid stole some of my shit."
Isn't that the best thing ever? Somebody else taking your shit that you love, they make you that good. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Ain't that the best thing ever? Somebody taking your shit that you love and making something out of it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the song that we wrote was, I think they did it better. They just took they took a riff, man. They didn't take my lyrics or nothing. It's not like they stole my song, but you know what I mean. There was obvious some influence, and I hope that's true. I hope they really did steal my shit. Anyway, I gave you one more song. People, I hope you guys are taking mental notes, man. I'm trying to this show. Like I said, I didn't have a good plan for it when I started, but as we're going along, as I'm talking to you and sharing these stories about the music that I listen to, I'm sharing some stuff to, like, if you are having a bad time, if you are feeling depressed, this is the kind of music that can, that's uplifting, that can motivate you. And then here's a band right now that I want to play for you, who's absolutely one of the greatest bands in the world. My brother Dutchie is not a fan of this band, and he couldn't be any more wrong. The Toy Dolls are one of my favorite bands in the entire world. And I remember, one of the cool things too, because especially with being a parent, when my daughter, my oldest, she's off in college right now. She's 19. And we just video chatted over Thanksgiving, and Naomi, right? You saw her. When she was a baby, when I would be driving her around, we would do two things. One, And I can't believe it. This is how long has it been, B? SpongeBob SquarePants. I would sing her the theme song when she was sitting in her chair, and she'd always do the little flute part on the nose, like that was like her favorite thing, and I would sing that to her like on a loop. She'd always say again, and I would do that. But the only other band that I could play with her, right? Because I couldn't play like Black Flag and Ramones when she's 3 years old, you know. So I'd play her happy punk rock, and there's no better guilty pleasure. And trust me, there's some really good punk rock stuff that the Toy Dolls do. But it's kind of an acquired taste. Most people, that when I let them hear the Toy Dolls, they're like, what the hell is going on? But I promise you, people, listen. If you're in a bad mood and you put on a Toy Dolls album, you will instantly be in a better mood. If you're not, then you're not human. Anyway, here's Nella the Elephant. You're listening to The Black Lung Show on kaoticradio.com.
To Bombay, a travelling circus came. They brought an intelligent elephant, and Nellie was her name. One dark night, she slipped her iron chain, and off she ran to Hindustan and was never seen again.
She went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. Now Nelly the elephant liked to jump and tumble up in the jungle. Off she went with a jumpity jump, jump, jump.
Night by night, she danced to the circus band. When Nelly was leading the big parade, she looked so proud and grand. No more tricks for Nelly to perform. They taught her how to take a bow, and she took the crowd by storm.
She went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. Now Nelly the elephant liked to jump and tumble up in the jungle. Off she went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. Nelly the elephant liked to jump and say goodbye to the circus. Off she went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. Now Nelly the elephant liked to jump and tumble up in the jungle. Off she went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. The head of the herd is calling from all the way. The head one like a silver like the heart of the way. She went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. Now Nelly the elephant liked to jump and tumble up in the jungle. Off she went with a jumpity jump, jump, jump. Now Nelly the elephant liked to jump and say goodbye to the circus. Off she went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump. Now Nelly the elephant liked to jump and tumble up in the jungle. Off she went with a jumpity jump, 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 jump.
All right, that was the Toy Doll. See, told you, right? How can you be sad by listening to that music?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard the Toy Dolls before?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, we got to fix that when we get home. Anyway, we'll get you listening to some more stuff. What are your favorite bands, by the way? I know I've asked you that, but now I'm putting you on the spot.
Dang it.
Go ahead.
I love a lot of bands. Like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses, all that old stuff. But I think right now, even though he's a very controversial person, I really do love the Smiths.
Okay.
So they're like in my top 5, maybe like the 4th.
Ryan, you're doing a great job. I didn't hear anything new out of her.
Well, that wasn't me. You know. You know what? I'm gonna spin a record real quick, and then we'll go out with something you might like. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, and I think the 2 people watching on YouTube right now, I've never noticed that before. It tells you how many people are watching. I know it. Thanks for you guys, maybe just for what, just so you can listen. I I said, I'll have the cameras back on next week when we have different guests. If the cameras were on, I'd show you this new find that I have. So I've just been playing music today on the show from bands that I like, bands that inspire me, songs, especially songs. We were talking on the way over here too, right? Because when I get home tonight, my guitar player Mike sent me a couple of tracks, and I'm really looking forward to writing lyrics. Being a singer myself, writing is one of my it's one of my favorite things to do because I get to express myself, and there's no better way than actually using, my actual words. And like the best, example, I mean, the lyrics that Modest Yah would use in that song, it's inspiring. It makes me feel good. When I listen to Mike sing from Suicidal Tendencies, and he's shouting, "You can't bring me down." I'm like, yeah, that's right, you can't bring me down. I want to go outside and just grab somebody, just shake them, and just be like, "You can't bring me down, motherfucker." I'm just kidding. But that's how it makes me feel, And so lyrics are really important to me. So if you guys have been listening, let me know what songs you guys want to hear. I might play them. Anyway, if the cameras were on, I would be showing you some of the vinyl. I always bring stacks of vinyl in here to spin on the show, and somehow I start talking too much and time gets away from me. But the record label, First Off Records, go check us out too on Facebook or Instagram or all that social media stuff. First Off Records. We have our compilation coming out at the beginning of next year with a lot of great bands. I love compilations because it lets you buy one record and you hear 25 bands and you get to discover new music. So I came across this record, and it's very intriguing to me. I haven't listened to it yet. It's a compilation called "The Vikings Are Coming," and it's got the cool punk rock, old school like flyer type artwork on the front. It's just a Viking ship with some Vikings that are half Viking, half punk. Some of them got beer and they're jumping in the water, and there's a scared shark, and the shark's swimming away. And then I look on the back of it, and the bands are bands I've never heard of at all. And that's the other thing, people. Listen. Always discover new music, even if it's not new, even if it's old like this. I mean, this album was put out in '85. And the bands, I don't know who they are. A band called Ugly Squaw, a band called Fear of War, Cruel Maniacs, Bizarre, Rescues in Future, and Bedrovlers. They're not from the United States. And they got all the cool pictures, and it's got the cool insert here. So I've never listened to this. Let's see if we can discover some new music together. Try to figure out who's... I hate when they don't put the bands on the album. I'm just going to play side one and see what happens. All right, so let's see if I can figure it out here from the insert. Side A, Fear of War. First song's called Surfer Boy. All right. Well, let's give it a shot. Spin some vinyl here on the Black Lung Show. Ooh, the record's all lumpy.
Thank you.
wasn't bad. I dug that. That's something I would listen to. Fear of War. Now I got to look them up and find out who they are. Some going on behind us too. I don't know if you guys can hear any of the cop cars behind us. That's Southern California. Um. Anyway, thanks for the 2 people watching. Um. Like I said, we'll be back next week with some bands in here. Just wanted to come in here today, show my kiddo what I do on Sundays. Because they just see me leave the house. They're like, "Where is he going?" Right?
Yeah.
Do you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
It's cool, right? You would think you want to be a DJ when you get older?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Hey, see, you never know. I never knew I was going to be a DJ. Kind of like most things in life, I just kind of fell into it. You know, I was at a wedding, and I used to produce a radio show on AM radio, and the guys were starting up this place, Kaotic Radio, the old owners. And they were like, "Ryan, why don't you do a punk show?" And I was like, "I don't know. Why don't I?" So that's kind of how I became a DJ almost 4 years ago now. So anyway, tune in also to Dutchy, the punk rock DJ. He's been doing some shows about David Bowie. Been seeing that. I haven't had a chance to check him out.
It comes on tonight around midnight, number 3.
All right. His tribute to David Bowie is going to be... Damn, I should have brought it. Oh, I was going to bring some David Bowie vinyl. I just bought some, which is what my daughter likes too, which is cool now. So she's not listening, but that's what she's getting for Christmas. She's getting some original David Bowie vinyl. Thanks for everybody watching. Keep spreading the word. This is the Black Lung Show. This is Kaotic Radio, your home for punk rock. Anyway, Dutchy, you know, he's always claiming to be the punk rock DJ. I'm just Ryan Penny, the ferocious front man from Something Ferocious. I'm not a DJ. I'm just a guy that's got a really cool life, and I get to host a show where I get to play my favorite music for you. With that saying, please don't hang me. Say bye to everybody.
Goodbye.
All right. We'll see you guys next week on the Black Lung Show. Take us out, B.
Panic on the streets of London, panic on the streets of Birmingham. I wonder to myself, could life ever be sane again? The lead side streets that you slip down, I wonder to myself. Hopes may rise and the grass near, but honey pie, you're not safe here, so you run down to the safety of the town. But the panic on the streets of Carlisle, Dublin, Dundee, Humberside, I wonder to myself. Burn down the disco, hang the blessed DJ, because the music that they constantly play, it says nothing to me about my life. Hang the blessed DJ, because the music they constantly play. On the lead side street that you slip down, the provincial towns you jog round. Hang the DJ, 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 hang the DJ,
There's bad radio, good radio, and chaotic radio. In that order. There's bad radio.
Surfer Boy. All right. Well, let's give it a shot. Spin some vinyl here on the Black Lung Show. The record's all lumpy. I hate when they don't put the bands on the album. I'm just going to play side one and see what happens. All right, so let's see if I can figure it out here from the insert. Side A, Fear of War. First song's called Surfer Boy. All right. Well, let's give it a shot. Spin some vinyl here on the Black Lung Show. The record's all lumpy. record label, First Off Records. Go check us out too on Facebook or Instagram or all that social media stuff. First Off Records. We have our compilation coming out at the beginning of next year with a lot of great bands. I love compilations because it lets you buy one record and you hear 25 bands and
Well, Belichick is fishing. It just may not be with Tom Brady. We know that for sure. The guy loves to go deep-sea fishing. And despite this relationship over 18 years being closer to the end than the beginning, the Patriots are still dominating as we take a look at the top half of the over-unders for this upcoming NFL season. This, according to numbers run by Westgate Las Vegas. Patriots at 11. These are the top 10. You got the reigning Super Bowl champs Eagles at 10.5. Steelers tied with them, keeping the Pennsylvania football strong there. Vikings, a playoff team as well. Any of these top 10 teams surprise you, Will, especially when you consider we just came off the draft and what we've seen in the offseason?
Not at all, but I'll tell you what really stands out to me there, Jamie, is only 3 AFC teams are in on that list. And you certainly don't see any AFC East teams. That tells you just how, like, in this, amid all this turmoil for the Patriots and how terrible things are going, the rest of the division still stinks, and they're going to win it, and they're going to win 12 games, and they're going to ultimately end up probably hosting the AFC Championship again next year as Tom Brady fights for an MVP. I do think, though, you look at the AFC teams there, the Steelers and the Jaguars, it tells you the competition level between the two conferences. And it's interesting because the AFC just added a lot of new young quarterbacks. You have Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. You saw a lot of guys get taken in the draft, whether it's Baker Mayfield or certainly Josh Allen to the Buffalo Bills. We saw Sam Darnold to the Jets. We've seen an injection of young new quarterbacks in that division, but the NFC is stacked. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Los Angeles Rams, the Minnesota Vikings, and then on that list you saw 3 teams from the NFC South alone. The Panthers, Saints, and Falcons all have win totals around 9 because Vegas isn't sure who's going to emerge. The NFC is going to be a dogfight for 2 wildcard spots, and you might even see a deserving championship caliber team get left out of the playoffs.
Well, we didn't see the AFC in the top half because we have about a handful of them hanging out in the bottom half. Let's specifically talk about the Cleveland Browns. 5.5 wins after not winning a single game in the last 2 seasons. Will, I feel like this is pushing it. What do you think?
I like the Browns over this year, Jamie.
No.
I know, I'm an idiot. Look, do you see the other team tied with the Browns for that low total? That was my Super Bowl team last year.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm an idiot. I think that the Browns, what's interesting about the Browns is how they're going to have they have a 2018 team that, to me, John Dorsey wants to try and flirt with 500 because if he got 6 to 8 wins, it would buy him carte blanche to do whatever he wants. Fire Hugh Jackson, bring in Lincoln Riley to work with Baker Mayfield, whatever he wants. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals because the Browns would have unprecedented success for them over the last 10 years. I'll tell you the team that stands out to me on that list that is really fascinating, and Nick Costas and I talked about this on the Pick Six podcast, the Giants at 6.5 wins. I mean, this is a team that is being universally praised for their work in the draft. They added Saquon Barkley, who's going to be the prohibitive favorite to be the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year. They added Nate Solder. They added Will Hernandez to protect Eli Manning. They have tons of weapons. They brought in some nice pieces in day 2 in Lorenzo Carter and B.J. Hill in terms of improving their defense. And yet they're at 6.5. Vegas isn't wrong a lot, and that should be a big red flag for anybody expecting the Giants to take a huge leap next year.
It's the beauty of television, Will. You say 5.5. You're taking the over on the Browns. That will live on forever. I'll check in with you week 17 next season. Will Brinson, thanks.
About that game last Monday night, the Chiefs-Rams game, I mean, 54-51.
Yeah.
Both teams scoring over 50. I mean, the league is changing, becoming more offensively oriented. Did you get a chance to watch that game? And what do you think about the way that, not just you guys, but the way that the game is changing here, and want to get your take as well as a defensive guy?
Those are basketball numbers. Yeah. When you think of an offense and me being an offensive guy, I love those type of numbers. And to get a win with those numbers, that means stats.
What about a loss with those numbers? I mean, the Chiefs lost and they scored 51 points.
A loss with those numbers are bad. But at the same time, it just shows you just the evolution of the game. It's starting to go through the air a lot more. So at the same time as being an offensive guy, I love the game. It was very entertaining to be on Monday Night Football, and for the fans to see that, I feel like it was amazing.
Yeah, for me personally, I hate it. I hate it most of the week. Number one, I'm a defensive guy. And when I played in Pittsburgh, our defensive goal was not to allow any opposing offense more than 16.5 points. Oh, wow. We felt like offensively, if you give us 17 points, we win. That was our mentality. And number two, it's so one-sided as far as playing defense now, especially in the secondary. I mean, so many times you see deep routes where wide receiver, and Taylor knows about this because any experienced wide receiver, they does this. When a ball is coming, they hit you with that little quick, bam. That's all you need. And people don't understand how important that little quick shove is as far as getting me off my target point and creating separation for a wide receiver.
And kind of sounds like sour
grapes.
No.
I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it. But wide receivers and offensive players, they know that. They know, you know what, if I'm running deep, I hit him with this shove, they're not going to call that. But defensively, if I'm hitting him right here on his wrist, they're going to call me for that. And everybody wants to see points. So everything is so one-sided. Everybody ripped and raved about that Monday night game. It always was so entertaining because you saw points. What about for the guys that's playing defense?
Yeah.
You know, we can't hit quarterbacks. We got to lay them down on a pillow like a toddler. I mean, you can't fall on top of a quarterback. You running a dig route, I can't drill him like I want to because I got to wait and allow him to catch the ball, turn up.
You're interrupting my route. I'm trying to run my
route. Exactly.
That's right,
and you're touching me.
It's so one-sided. I can't touch him, but he can touch me.
You can't interrupt the route.
I mean, listen, how unfair is this for me? This guy's running 4-2.
Yeah.
He catches
Turbo.
He catches a 6-cut, and then he turns up on me, and I have to wait and allow him to shake me and put me on a highlight reel? That's not fair. And then everybody's pointing, oh, this guy just got toasted all on social media and this and that. It's not fair. It's so one-sided. So for me, that's why I don't like where the game is going, but I understand it's about money.
Let's talk about your former team for a second, the Falcons. They get it handed. You had a great Thanksgiving. Not so much for them.
Yeah.
Get it handed to them in New Orleans. Now 4-7. You know, Arthur Blank comes out, gives a vote of confidence to Coach Quinn. Kind of crazy to think that even has to happen.
Yeah.
What do you think's gone wrong this year for the Falcons?
Injuries. When you think about a defense, you need those key guys. Just in the sense we was talking about off of air, Troy. He was the captain of that ship. And when you think of Ricardo Allen, him going out, Keon O'Neal, Deion Jones, he was the captain of that ship, Ricardo Allen. He was the captain of that ship, and he controlled things. So to not have him out there, I feel like just the communication, it has to be a little bit off.
Yeah, people don't realize how important safeties are.
Yeah.
Especially in today's game was more so of a passing league.
This coming from a quarterback saying
yeah, but safeties are extremely important. They're the ultimate traffic cop. They're the last line of defense, and their ability to communicate to everybody, not just in the secondary, but everybody in the first two levels is extremely important. And Ricardo Allen can ball. Keon O'Neal can ball. He's like that bouncer. He's a physical guy. So I think Dan Quinn will get a pass. Like you said, he's already getting the endorsement from the owner because of the injuries. Keeping it with Atlanta, you played with Atlanta last year, the last few seasons before signing with Chicago.
Yeah.
Julio Jones always get a lot of flack for not scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right? Give us the inside field as far as, and I see it from afar because I'm a former player, but a lot of fans don't understand why he's not scoring touchdowns in the manner in which he should because of his skill set. Answer that question. What's going on with the inability to get into the paint with Julio?
Julio is selfless. When you think of that type of tier guy, you think of when you get in the red zone, he's going to demand the ball. He's going to want the ball, and I'm sure he does. But at the same time, if we're scoring, if other people are scoring, and if he can attract two guys inside the red zone, he's okay with that in the sense of a win. But at the same time, you have the fantasy owners and the people outside, the outside noise, wanting him to score those touchdowns, wanting him to be the front runner for this. But at the same time, Julio himself, he's selfless. As long as they're getting touchdowns and winning,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to him.
Welcome to CBS Sports HQ. I'm Bryant McFadden, joined by Chicago Bears wide receiver Taylor Turbo Gabriel. Taylor, of course, you're having a great year from the individual standpoint. Team-wise, you're 8-3. Talk about the success you guys are being able to display week in and week out.
Just going into a game week, not just trying to win, but trying to make a statement. Just trying to show the world what we have, what we can do, the things that we've overcome just to get to this point. So we're not just playing to get a W. We're playing to make a statement.
Are you guys playing your best ball right now?
No. Just in the sense of us gelling, us being on the same page. I don't think so. And I feel like we have a long way to go. It's our first year in the offense. So first time having a quarterback with these type of wide receivers, these type of tight ends, the type of running backs that we have. So I feel like we're a long way from getting where we need to be, but at the same time, I feel like we're at a good point.
Yeah. Your nickname is Turbo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the ability to be called Turbo.
Yeah.
Where did that nickname come from? And do you believe you earned the right to be called Turbo?
Yeah. It came from my wife, actually. I did like this little running, this thing on Twitter just to try.
Two, three.
This is a Jew.
Can you talk to me? Jared.
I got Dimitri in the car, but yeah.
Oh, good. So I'm using the phone now on the system. So just making sure you can hear me and I can hear you.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. All right. See you guys in a bit.
All right.
Get back.
We're gonna be right there on the dot probably. So
Cool. No worries. Nobody else here.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Later. Bye.
4-3 every time, every snap, every down. I play that.
With speed being one of your biggest skill sets and attributes, you know, you catch the ball real well, good route runner. How do you attack bigger cornerbacks? You know, for me, when I played against a smaller receiver, especially if I knew they were extremely quick and fast, I want to try to beat them up. I want to try to beat them up to try to be disruptive, to mess up the timing a little bit. So for you, how do you attack bigger corners who probably want to try to press you?
I feel like that helps me. What people don't.
And Rashad Penny, the rookie, is in for the first time, but they'll throw. Wilson coming near side, Lockett, easy catch, easy first down, 3rd and 4, Seahawks. Carolina backs off the blitz. Wilson coming near side, it's Lockett, first down, good move and speed. Lockett still going.
Now this one ended up being against Captain Munderland, but you notice. What side of the field they're operating off of. They're leaving Bradbury alone right now.
3rd and 9. Wilson, time, firing. It is caught! And down at the 1. That looked close.
Right on the goal line. That's
a touchdown.
Challenge.
Right there.
And here it comes from Pete Carroll.
It's a touchdown right there.
That will be a touchdown.
Fake the run. Pressure coming. Wilson coolly throws to Lockett. 1st down. But even at his age, he's got a monster leg. Here's Wilson, pressure up the middle. Wilson stands in, throwing deep. He's got Lockett wide open. He's got it! Tyler Lockett got behind the coverage.
And look here. See, they just end up losing. Munderland's going to end up getting being the picture. But he was coming over to try and help him because the play got extended because of the pass protection. There was so much extra time for a receiver to work his way deep. Lockett ran a short route and then worked his way deep and made sure he got himself open.
So comes another blitz. Wilson doesn't see it. He goes down. The Panthers are blitzing left and right.